Hi, I'm Bob Gallagher, the mayor of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa. Today is Friday, February 7th, 2025. Welcome to our Surrey Heights Fire Station, where we're here with Lieutenant Andy Sheehan to talk a little bit about a special week that we had this week. So welcome to the Mayor's Message, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Mayor.
Tell us what we're, I would say, celebrating, but also learning about this week.
Sure, appreciate that. Thank you again for having me.
You bet.
The biggest thing about this week every year is what we call National Burn Awareness Week. So this year it falls February 2nd to February 8th. A lot of times we try to think about it as from the fire service and from the burn community is the whole month, right?
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it is recognized this week nationwide. This year, one of the biggest thought processes that is going to be kind of the running theme is burn safety within your space of living.
Sure.
So we're talking about in the home,
Okay.
right? You know, in the winter months, we're in our home a lot more.
more.
Doesn't mean we're not outside, but a lot of things are inside. So I'm just going to run down a couple different things that we try to think about in those living spaces.
Sure.
So if we start in the kitchen, which
Yeah.
we've talked about a lot in the past,
We have.
you know, cooking is a very big thing about burns, scalds, and trying to have awareness with that and being safe in those
Keeping
things.
the kids safe, turning the pots, all those things we
Exactly,
talk
that's
about.
exactly
Sure.
right. Turn your pots. Make sure that kids are away from the stoves and the ovens. One of the biggest things this year we try to put in people's minds is the distraction factor.
Okay.
It's really easy to turn on some cooking pieces that we're going to do, a pot, boiling water, food, whatever it is, and then we get distracted, whether it's with our phones or something else. We're like, oh, while that's cooking, we can go
this
do
up,
something else.
put in the laundry.
Exactly.
Okay.
So try to avoid distracted cooking, and that will help us with burn safety and fire safety related in the kitchen. That'll also help us pay attention to kids or other things, family members in the kitchen that don't pull us away from
all
it.
kinds of
So,
things.
exactly. So
Okay.
those are the few things that are within the kitchen. If we move to other spaces in the home, I like to think about another space that's everybody's home is where the bathroom, where we would utilize sinks and we utilize tubs and showers. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about hot water.
Okay.
In the winter, it's a good idea to think about maybe turning down your water heater a little bit.
Okay.
120 degrees or less. It just gives us that little bit of factor of less scalds or less hot water that we're using. So when we draw up those baths for our children, or maybe the kids are getting to the phase where they're like, I want to wash my hands on my own.
Okay.
I want to go ahead and turn the handles on. They turn one handle on, it's hot water. All of a sudden we had scald hands, scald arms,
Okay.
things like that. So if we really think about the spaces that we utilize in our home, that's one that we use a lot.
Sure.
And that's one that we can definitely help prevent burns and scalds.
What about living spaces?
Living spaces is a big key. So living room spaces, bedrooms.
Okay.
Do you like candles?
We do like candles.
Okay.
And I'm reminding folks in my house, although there's only one, we probably ought to be better at blowing those
Yes,
out.
and that's exactly where I was going. So it's okay to have candles in
Sure.
your home if you guys like those things. However, if we're going to leave the space or we're going to go to bed, let's go ahead and blow those candles out. They get hot.
Absolutely.
The actual containers that they're in, even though it's glass and it seems like it's safe,
Or
those
metal or
things
whatever.
can get, or metal, exactly, or you go to grab it and it's hot. So you get scalds and or they can shatter, they can burn things around them.
Okay.
And that's kind of bad in our world. So blow out your candles. And then another thing is really big in the winter months is space heaters.
And we've talked about that.
And we sure have.
And the danger with space heaters. So they're
Yes.
getting better.
Exactly. We are getting better. We're trying to get that prevention out there.
Okay.
So one of the things I want to tell the community is in your space heaters, maybe a lot of people don't really know this, is they, especially your newer ones, have a safety factor where if they were to take a tumble, they were to get knocked over,
Sure, you kick it easily.
fall, it has a safety switch on the bottom that once it falls, turns it right off.
Okay.
So if you are getting a space heater for your home, apologize for that, and or going to use them in long term, especially through the colder days, make sure that you are thinking about 3 feet around, space around, that it's not having materials around them so that radiant heat doesn't try to catch things on fire.
All right.
And try to think about purchasing one or utilizing one that has that safety switch on the bottom, so if it were to get knocked down, you would eliminate that and it would turn off when it falls.
Especially if you're leaving it alone. It's
Yep.
downstairs, you're upstairs, or you're going to sleep and you got a space heater in your room.
Yeah, and that's a
those
big
things
thing
are-
is just like with candles, people sometimes will walk away from them because they are providing heat for spaces. Another thing that is very big is please do not plug them into power strips that is then plugged into your wall. Space heaters draw a lot of power. and we want those things plugged directly into the wall outlet.
Okay, good idea.
So I've seen numerous power strips over our time where they've actually caught fire, the actual power strip itself. And so it may not have been the space
Those
heater.
are always sitting behind couches, fabric couches,
Yes.
or by drapes, so they're going to catch something
behind
else.
desks, behind couches, under drapes that are hanging,
Right.
windows, things that can also catch fire and really kind of build that fire faster and faster. So really protection for burn awareness and fire safety is plugging those things right into the wall.
And keep them away, as
Yep.
you said, the 3-foot radius.
Exactly. So one more thing I want to add to that
Yes,
is
sir.
fireplaces themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So fireplaces, a lot of them have them. We have them in our home. One of the biggest things that they have, or they should have, is a screen to protect the actual front of the fireplace.
Sure.
It's really nice to have it open, kind of feel and hear the crackling and
can
things
still
like
hear
that.
it.
But please, if you have those screens, please make sure that we're closing them. And same thing like in the kitchen when we're cooking, let's try to keep our children away from the closeness of those, because embers can fly out and things like that. So
Or touching the hot surface, even if you have the doors closed.
Yes, that is correct. And then I would just suggest that if you do happen to have a fireplace, make sure that you're getting that inspected annually, because chimney fires happen. And so making sure that they're clean and they're safe and everything prior to use and after maybe a whole season of use is a good thing for the whole family.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks for the great
Yes,
tips.
thank you. I
Appreciate you
appreciate
being here on the Mayor's Message.
Definitely.
So listen to Lieutenant Andy Sheehan and take those tips to heart. Make sure your house is safe, and we're preventing those things that we can by making good choices. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.